Now, the battle of the plane makers is heating up in Dubai. The world's two biggest manufacturers are looking to break records at this year's Airshow after what's been a difficult couple of years for the industry. So far this year, European giant Airbus has been lagging behind its US rival Boeing in terms of orders. Now, Airbus went into the Dubai Airshow with 288 net orders, while Boeing had more than double that at 605. On Sunday, Boeing stole the headlines after it announced the sale of 40 of its wide-body 787-10s to state-owned carrier Emirates in a deal worth $15 billion. But then Airbus made a comeback. On Wednesday, it signed a deal to sell 430 of its short-haul A320neo planes to private equity firm Indigo Partners. The historic $50 billion deal will spread the jets across Indigo's subsidiaries, which include Frontier Airlines in the US, Mexico's Volaris, Europe's Wizz Air, and JetSmart of Chile. And a couple of hours later, though, its rival Boeing fired back with a $27 billion deal to sell 225 of its 737 MAX jets to discount carrier Fly Dubai. It's Boeing's biggest ever order from the Middle East for single-aisle passenger jets. And that brings its total tally for the year to 870. That compares to 718 for Airbus, which will need to bring in a couple of bigger deals by December if it hopes to catch up with its rivals. Let's get more on this now from aviation entrepreneur Fabrizio Poli, who joins me from Manchester. Great to have you on Money Talks as ever, Fabrizio. Now, we've been seeing this trend for a couple of years now of airlines moving towards smaller regional jets and away from the things like the A380 Super Jumbo. If you strip out the Emirates part of all of this, do you see this trend continuing?
Well, I mean, it's a continuous battle between Airbus and Boeing, and always has been, always will be. But I think the interesting thing is Airbus are a bit in difficulty with the A380 because it's been a bit of a flop. They were expecting a lot more airlines to order that aircraft. So I think what the guys at Indigo did, they saw an opportunity. They thought, you know, if we go in there now, we negotiate hard, we can get a massive discount on a lot of Airbus 320s. And they did the deal. A bit like what happened back just after September 11th when Ryanair went in and did a massive deal with Boeing for some 737s, and that's what kind of saved Boeing. So I think this order is very, very important for Airbus. I think it's a win both for Airbus and also for Indigo and the four airlines that will receive delivery of these aircraft. But then I also think it's interesting to see where these airplanes are actually going to be deployed. We see Wizz Air, which is obviously Eastern Europe, where there's still a growth market. And then the rest of the aircraft are going to be deployed over in the US, Chile, and Mexico. So other markets which are still growing. So interesting times.
Right. Let's look at it from a passenger's point of view. Do all of these deals possibly mean more expensive flight tickets?
Well, I mean, more airplanes means more destinations, more competition. And, you know, when you have an airline, you need to fill seats. And what the airlines are doing these days, and some of these airlines that are going to be receiving these aircraft from Indigo are defined as ultra low-cost airlines. So we are moving towards a trend where probably airline tickets are going to be free, and the airlines will make money on the ancillary revenue. So selling you like train tickets on board and duty free and things like that, and charging you to bring your bags on board. And that's how they're going to make their money. So we're moving towards that model. So I say more airplanes coming on the market. These people are going to have to fill the planes. And to do that, they're going to have to be creative. And they're going to have to do that with the passenger in mind and offer the passenger a good deal in order to fill the seat.
Interesting. The Gulf region now, it's still dealing with the fallout with Qatar and its neighbours. What would have been the state of play at the Dubai Airshow, do you think, if Qatar had been present there this year?
Well, it's, you know, the whole Middle East it's a difficult market. It's a very complicated market. A lot of aircraft orders there are very political. Obviously, the Americans have done their fair share of deals today with Boeing, with that massive order there coming in for Fly Dubai. But so have Airbus managed to keep the 380 going with Emirates. So it's a bit of a balance. I mean, Qatar, if they had been present, it would be interesting. But, you know, the Middle East is the countries in the Middle East are not as friendly with each other as, for example, the European nations are, even though there's a lot of conflict going on in Europe at the moment now with the EU and Brexit and whatnot. So still two areas of the world which are a bit shaky. But there's still a lot of oil in the Middle East, and that obviously they have money, and they're trying to do as much as they can to sort of. I mean, Qatar is going to be housing the World Cup in 2022, so that's quite an important event. So they're trying to move away from the oil industry and bring in other things. And so, of course, more airplanes that they have, more people they can bring in, more other businesses they can start, and sort of to bring people there, not just for oil reasons, but also for other business reasons as well. So, Qatar are obviously doing their bit, like Dubai's doing their bit, Saudi Arabia's doing their bit, but a lot of competition between them, and sometimes they're not nice about it.
OK, we're almost out of time, but one quick question. With all of these orders, then, are jobs at Boeing and Airbus safe for the moment, or are there headwinds coming for these companies in the future?
Well, I mean, obviously, automation, robotics, artificial intelligence is going to play quite a major role in building these aircraft. So there will still be some jobs that will be eliminated, even though we have to build more planes.
Okay.
But I mean, interesting enough, Airbus actually have a factory in the US now.
Fabrizio Poli, I'm afraid we are out of time. Fabrizio Poli, aviation expert in Manchester. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Asa. Thank you.